Hey guys, good morning. It is super early and we're going on an appointment. It's actually a mammogram appointment. It's like my second one in life. Last year was my first one because last year I turned 40. And in 2 days, I'm going to be 41. So, second mammogram. I just took my meds, got up, quick shower. You're not allowed to put lotion or anything on. I might put some on my legs and my neck, I'm wearing shorts. But had my meds, and I made these for my husband, so they're a lot of food, but I'm going to eat these so I don't get sick. My IVF doctor wants me to keep it keto. It's very extreme, but it's best for pregnancy. He eats, oh my god, sorry, don't be ready. He eats that way. I don't personally like that way of eating, just in general for like how I feel, but you know, I do think there is some evidence behind it for people like me. And when I say people like me, I mean people who are PCOS, insulin resistant, things like that. So it makes sense, and I think it is an extreme way of eating, but it probably will help you get pregnant. And his suggested eating is no real veggies, you know, grill a ribeye, eat some shrimp, have a little heavy cream here and there, make some ice cream, stay away from the stevia, keep it real simple. And we try to eat a ribeye once or twice a week. I'm a fan of shrimp. Last night we ate like pulled pork. Oh, I don't know what. It just doesn't sit good with me. I don't like it. You know, I just don't like it. I'm real picky. It's just gross. My meds are a little rough on me still. It's almost been a full week that I have been on meds, and I've never been on like a medication. Like I don't pop pills daily for anything, so anything, like even a Claritin makes me feel wonky, like woozy, like I feel it in my sinuses, like, and I just took these medications, so I have to keep eating you guys. I have to, or I will be so nauseated, I will not be able to move. I was sitting in it, like sometimes at home when I take my meds, I have to sit for like an hour, just sit there, drink water, and just sit there because I'm so nauseated. I hate it. It makes me feel like I'm procrastinating, like I'm useless. I'm like, God, I got so much stuff I could be doing. 2 things I want to talk about. 1, diet. 2, donor eggs. 3, the gym. What I'm eating is technically keto. It's walnuts, pecans. They both have carbs, but they're lower carbs. Strawberries and blueberries, both low glycemic fruits, right? So there's only like 5 strawberries in here, a 4th cup of blueberries, a few walnuts, a few pecans, but still, overall, there's carbs in this. Overall, it's not what my doctor recommended, but I'm still like trying, you know, like I'm still keeping it keto, which is not as extreme right now because I just needed something to grab. Sometimes it's 2 salty crackers. This time I grabbed some fruit and some nuts. So sometimes I don't really feel like I'm doing enough, which is one of my hardest things to get over mentally because I'm always like pushing myself, like do better, try harder. If this fails, I'll put it on myself, you know? And that's kind of a fear of mine. So, just trying to like negotiate that in my head a little bit. Like, I'm doing so many hard things to make sure this works. And I know a lot of people don't change their way of eating at all, and they're totally successful. I've changed my way of eating a lot, but I'm not extreme. You know, he wants you to eat like one meal a day. I can't do that with meds. I cannot do that. So I have to keep reminding myself I'm doing my best, because I really am doing my best. Like, this is my best at the moment. You know? Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, those meds. I literally downed them right before I went in the car. Oh, I'm gonna keep drinking water. Okay, so donor eggs. What are donor eggs? There's a whole group of people who donor eggs come from basically two people. They're other women's eggs. And it's basically, some women just donate eggs for altruistic reasons. They want to help other people. They're kind, they're giving. This is their calling. Or a little extra cash. There's cash involved in it. They get paid for them. The second thing is, some women who need IVF, sometimes they're in same-sex relationships, sometimes they are transgender, and their partner is or whatever, they require IVF for certain reasons, you know. Sometimes women are like 24, get their tubes tied, end up remarried at 29, realize they shouldn't have got their tubes tied. They're still young enough to have babies, but now they require IVF or a tubal reversal. They can donate their eggs if they can't pay for it to offset, so they can afford IVF, so they can get free IVF. They can barter that. Then they just have to pay for the medications. So these are where donor eggs come from. Donor eggs are literally like, I've done a lot of research into this. Why am I researching it? I'm 40 today, and in 2 days I'll be 41. 42 or over is considered advanced maternal age. 42 and over. I've heard different. I've heard like 37 and up is advanced maternal age, 35. But my clinic says 42 and up is advanced maternal age, and you should start thinking about donor eggs. Reason why: you can harvest your eggs, and no response from the medications. Your body doesn't produce enough eggs, or any eggs. They won't know until they go in there. Give me this medication and start monitoring me, which will happen around May 5th to 7th, depending on when my body starts ovulating. I ovulate every 28 days like clockwork. When I was 350 pounds, no, I ovulated 2-3 times a year, maybe. But now I ovulate every 28 days. But the thing is that we are still having issues getting pregnant because we think it's age related. I was overweight. I had anovulation, which was lack of ovulation. I never opted to like force my body to ovulate. I opted to have weight loss surgery, eat right, change my lifestyle, and I have restored without medication my ovulation. Only thing is that I was 39 when I had weight loss surgery, and it took me about a year to lose 80 pounds, I think. So it literally took me almost exactly a year to restore ovulation, if that makes sense at all. I feel like I'm not driving fast enough on this road. But anyways, so we restored ovulation, but there are other factors like age, which means you may release an egg. It may not be chromosomally healthy. Your body will not impregnate you. We don't know exactly the reason why. Jermaine had a sperm analysis, semen analysis. It's great. We don't really have a lot of answers, except for based off of my weight, history of my weight historically, we're saying it's PCOS autoimmune related, which PCOS is an autoimmune response as far as I'm concerned. It's not hard science yet, but I believe it's an autoimmune response, and I honestly believe that. Another thing too, really interesting about weight loss surgery is some people struggle with their weight loss surgery and they don't do well with weight loss surgery. Some people do weight loss surgery and it's like the magic pill. It's like the magic thing. And that's kind of what school I feel like I'm in, because my whole life I was told like I was eating too much, and I was eating too much. But the thing is that the reason I think I was eating too much, I think, were biological factors, and I think those have been taken away, and now it's relatively easy. And I don't know if I'll ever be small, just because of how my body was formed and raised as a bigger person. Like, I don't know if I even could get to that level, but I do think the culprit was like insulin resistance, metabolic disorder, aka PCOS. And I think it just kind of jacked my system when I was, as soon as I hit puberty, it just messed me up, even before then. I think it has a lot to do with the foods I was eating and what was popular to eat, like crackers and juice, like in the 80s, So anyways, long story short, that's a whole other conversation. But anyways, this is where we are. We did have a natural chemical pregnancy, which gave me a lot of hope that, okay, cool, I do have eggs, but we're pulling into my appointment now. We're still early. Yeah, we're 10 minutes early. We're gonna really quickly finish donor eggs. I don't know if we'll really finish it, but we'll talk about it. So what I'm trying to say is we don't exactly know or understand the reason why we haven't gotten pregnant after weight loss surgery, because I ovulate every 28 days, like clockwork, which is great. I'm super proud of that. A lot of work. Still no live birth, no actual sustainable pregnancy. So we go to IVF. So we're going to do a duostim, 2 retrievals back to back, and see how I do. You don't really know how you're going to respond until you do it, which kind of sucks because it's expensive, and it's an expensive experiment, and it's also very hard on your body. We're doing this to see, how do I respond? We may go in and get a bunch of eggs. Great. Yay. Perfect. Never have to ever deal with the donor egg option. But what happens if we go in and there's no eggs? There's nothing. The eggs are non-existent, or they're very few. AMH is a good, kind of tells you how many follicles you have producing, and mine is not high, mine is low. It's 0.3. It was 0.5 in September. Now it's in October it was 0.5. Now, 6 months later, 0.3. It's going down, which is normal when you're getting in your 40s. It's not high whatsoever. Probably has a lot to do with why we're not pregnant. So hopefully if I respond to this medication, they can get out enough eggs and we won't have to worry about donor eggs. But what happens if we do these and it's really hard on my body? We do 2 retrievals back to back and my body just says, nope, not giving you a single egg. Then what do? Do you say, okay, cool, we just won't have natural children? Or do you use a donor egg and allow it to be a donor egg, which is a cell from another woman, like a blueprint, like blueprints to a house, but then your body, your blood, sweat, tears, your DNA builds that child, and it's also your husband's. So something to think about. So we had a meeting with the donor egg team, and that went good, just to find out the pricing, how it works. You can look at the donors, pick your donors, go on a wait list. It's a whole thing. Just had that appointment on Monday just to discuss our options, because some women will do 12 retrievals. Oh God, every month for a year to try to get that one egg. I can't do that. I already know me. I'm not built like that. I'm just not going to be that tenacious. I'm gonna do 2. I am grateful that I can afford to, and I'm going to try like hell on my end to do everything I can do to make them successful. And I believe it's going to work. I believe we will have good success. I think my body will respond. I think science is going to work for us. But I'm also considering donor eggs if it doesn't, because I'm not considering beating my body up for a year. Also, some women beat their body up from age like 40 to 47 and finally get pregnant at 40. I don't want to be pregnant at 47. I'm 40 and I'm already tired. Like 41, I can handle that. 42, I can raise a baby in my 40s. Being pregnant at 47? Oh God, no. I feel like time is super, super imperative, not just to get the eggs out, but A, to get the eggs out, and B, to hurry up and get pregnant and have this baby, because I don't want to be super old. I don't want to be 45 and pregnant. I want to do all this before I'm 45. Now, if I'm like 44 and we have extra eggs and I want a second or a third, yes, we will be okay with that. But after 45, I don't want to be pregnant after 45. Like, no. Okay, it's 8:26. I have an arrival time at 8:30. We eat a couple more blueberries. I like the fruit better than the nuts right now. So I'm just gonna eat a couple blueberries. I'm gonna take my water. When I get back, I'll continue this video. We'll talk about the gym. It's so early. Not really, but it feels like it. That's what happens when you're on tons of meds at night. You can't wake up in the morning. Okay, I will be back. Okay, back from that appointment. We're gonna go get a coffee. My IVF doctor allows 1 or 2 regular cups of coffee a day, which, should I get a coffee? See what I go through, like, mentally, like, it's so challenging for me. It's not necessary. I don't need it. I want it. It's not great for fertility, but there are people here smoking crack. So we're gonna continue this video and really quickly talk about donor eggs. I think we kind of covered it. I've been doing a lot of research about a lot of different things, and like I said, it's kind of a backup plan for me. You can't just jump right into it and be like, yay, donor eggs. But two things. Usually when you first think about donor eggs, you think, what's the point? Why do I want to be pregnant and carry this child that's not genetically related to me? There's a couple of different things to consider. Number one, they're putting a cell in you. Now, it is the blueprint for their life, but your blood will build this child and your DNA will run through this child. Your blood, you know what I mean? Like your body is producing this child. They're producing the blueprint. So there's a whole lot to consider there. There's a whole lot of studies and a lot of science. I don't want to misquote what they say about that, but your blood courses through their veins. Your body feeds them, like they're in you. You know, it does link you to that human being genetically in some way. The second thing is that they are your husband's biological chromosomal child. So that's a whole nother thing to consider. And it's kind of like, the way I've kind of thought about it is like, if you build a house and you use someone else's blueprints, is it still your house? Yes. Did you still build it? Was it your blood, sweat, and tears that built it? Was it your hard work, your money, your wood, your brick? You laid that shit down? Yeah, that's yours. The second thing is that I wasn't just gung-ho at first. I was like, ew, no, I would never. But I did a lot of research, and I found this woman, and she actually now, she's so... Is this a green light? Yeah, move truck, move. She now works for the World Egg Bank. That's how into donor she is at this point in her timeline. So basically, she, I heard this story on a podcast, and I'll just kind of summarize it for you because it had a lot to do with changing my mind and my viewpoint on donor eggs and helping me to come to this decision. The first thing is, okay, so this woman, she now works for the World Donor Egg Bank. It's an egg bank. It's called the World Donor Egg Bank. And she works there, and she was already in nursing or RN or something when she was going through IVF. And her and her husband went through it, and she was against donor eggs and he was for it, because at least it would be his and they could raise the baby and she would birth this child. And she was a little jealous of the fact that it would be biologically his and not hers. And it took a lot of discussions for her to finally get to the place where she felt comfortable with that. And she said that the day she decided to surrender and just do the donor eggs, it was the most peaceful day of her life, and it brought her so much peace, and she just knew she was on the right path. They do donor eggs, they get pregnant the first time, twin boys, and they're not identical, two separate embryos, both with the same donor mom and her husband's semen. So genetically her husband's, not genetically hers. She's pregnant with them. She has the babies. It's a great experience, great pregnancy, in love with these twins, love and life, right? Like perfect little boys, goals. Her twins are about 3 months old, and she has this really weird dream. And in her dream, another interesting thing is that she's a tall woman. So she was looking for a tall donor and she found it. So anyways, that's one thing that I remember her saying. So that was what was important to her, the height, because she was a tall woman. So that was one thing that she was struggling, because it's not easy to find tall women. I think there's right now on my donor site, there's 2. But women are usually 5'5" and under. It's a lot of 5'1", 5'2", 5'3s. But anyways, she found her donor. They had the babies. The babies are 3 months old. She has this really weird dream. And in this dream, there's a little tiny blonde-haired boy, and he tells her his name is Dustin. And she has this dream, and in her dream, she knows it's her son. She wakes up, she takes a pregnancy test, she's pregnant naturally. This bitch is pregnant naturally after 12 years, 7 years, something crazy, 7 different egg retrievals and all the things. She's pregnant naturally. Only thing she can figure is that having given birth made her more fertile, and she was pregnant. How beautiful, but also crazy. So she literally gives birth to Dustin in the same year that she gave birth to her twins. So she has 3 boys. She names the little one Dustin, and he's exactly how she dreamt him. And she names him Dustin. All boys, all born in the same year. It's a beautiful, interesting story, because it's a unique situation. This doesn't happen very often, right? You have 2 from a donor, but then you naturally have 1. The thing is that's interesting is that she says to this day, all of her boys look exactly alike. They all look like brothers, very similar. Even though 2 are not hers and 1 is, they look a lot alike. You cannot tell they're not hers. And she said the way so basically, I hope that you're understanding clearly what I'm saying here is that this is a unique case, because now she can look at her genetic and she can look at her non-genetic and she can compare. The thing is that her twin donor egg babies are no less her babies than Dustin. The feels for them are no different. They're just as much hers. They act exactly alike. They are not any different than Dustin in any way. They look a lot alike. They behave a lot alike. They all have the same personalities. They're all different, but they're all the same. They're all her kids. They all, and she goes and talks about how she tells them they're from donor eggs, how she talks about donor eggs because her job and her own history with a lot of different women right in front of them to reinforce this. And they've talked about it, and they've had school projects. For example, it really came up when they had to do a project about their heritage, and she was like, well, daddy is Irish, but your donor is Dutch. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have a donor. And then, it's part of their life and part of their understanding, and it's really interesting. And I just thought it was a great case study for research, because she got to, instead of wondering what would my actual biological kids look like, she actually got to see it and see that they looked a lot alike, and there was really not a lot of difference. They looked more like their dad. I think that would be the case for me as well. But it's just interesting, and it's just reassuring. And she said it was the best thing she ever did, and they're no less her kids, and they're no different than Dustin in the way she feels for them, and the bond is the same for them as it was with Dustin. And it was just such a beautiful case study, and it was on a podcast, and I will try to find it and I will try to link it, although that might be challenging, but I will try really hard to post that. The second thing that convinced me was, what was it? There was another story or another situation that I heard. It's not as good as that one. That's why I can't remember it now. I'm in the Starbucks line. I feel like I'm almost being forced here by behavior, like reinforced behavior. So, whatever. Let me try to think of the other story. Oh, there's a woman I spoke to on Facebook. She talks a lot about donor eggs. She has 2 children from donor eggs, 2 different donors. She swears to God, because her kids are like 2 and 4, and she's still active in here, and she says she is so thankful that her eggs didn't work, because if her eggs didn't work, if her eggs had have worked, she would have never met her now children who are 2 and 4, and she loves the shit out of them. And she said they're the best human beings, and they're the human beings that are meant to be on this earth, and that her 4-year-old and her 2-year-old, her boy and her girl, she wouldn't give them up right now for nothing. She wouldn't trade their genetics for her genetics, nothing. She would change nothing. They're absolutely perfect. She birthed them. Those are her babies, and she is grateful that it worked out this way, because she knows it was meant to be, because those are her people. Those are her little humans, and that is how it was meant to be. And she is adamant about that. And I think that is so beautiful and lovely and sweet, and I love that story, and I needed to hear that. So those are the kind of things that I heard that made me think, maybe if this doesn't work, we shouldn't just jump straight to whatever. Maybe we should donor eggs. It's an option. It's an option. Let me order my coffee.
Thank you for choosing Starbucks in Hire. My name is Imani. Your name is?
Hi, Imani. It's Morgan.
Hi, Morgan.
Hey. Is this Imani with an I or Imani with an E?
With an I.
Imani, hi.
Hi, Morgan.
Oh, I miss your beautiful face. I'm good.
Thanks. Where have you been?
We had COVID.
Oh.
We were quarantined, but we're good. We've been off quarantine since Monday.
Oh, that's
So, yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, let me get a venti iced Americano. Can I get heavy cream on the side and some stevia packets on the side, and that's everything?
Yeah, $3.59.
Alrighty. Thank you, babe.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good. Oh, you got a little tray, huh? Hi, Imani. How are you, beautiful?
No doggies today?
No doggies today.
How's real estate going?
Good. Alrighty. It's
Have
a
a
lot.
good one, sweetie.
Enjoy it. Have fun with all the customer service stuff. But anywho, so donor eggs. I personally, because of those stories, am highly considering it. The reason why is because after, like I've already kind of said, but I will say again, after I'm just gonna sit here in the middle of the street and put some stevia into my coffee, into my Americano. I don't know how much caffeine is in this, but yeah. It was so funny because on my last video, one of my videos, I think it was like my appointment number 3, part 1, I posted it, and it was so funny. I don't know if the person was referring to Starbucks or to stevia or to a latte that I got. I don't know what the reference was, but they did the time code. It was like 0.21, which was when I was putting stevia in my coffee, and they were like, vomit. It was so funny. I don't know if they're referring to putting stevia in the coffee, ruining it, like vomit, like ooh, or if they, I don't know. It was just funny, but it was hilarious. That was the funniest comment. I deleted it though. But it was hilarious that they actually watched that far and then were like, you know, at 21 seconds, vomit. But anyways, long story short, donor eggs. So we are doing a duo stim, right? So we're gonna do 2 back-to-back egg retrievals. The first one, they just, you know, on a first egg retrieval, it is just what it is. And we're just gonna see how it goes, right? And then on the second one, they'll make adjustments and hopefully it should go better than the first one. And the thing is that you never know. I see people who get 1, 2 normals on the first, nothing on the second. You're left to decide whether or not you want to keep trying with your own eggs for a couple more months, and dragging your body through that is not easy. I'm on priming and it's exhausting, okay? Yeah. Mama hasn't had Americano in a hot minute and they are strong. So anyways, I'm a think-aheader, I'm a planner. So I'm thinking ahead and planning. I went on the donor list. I did a donor meeting. I told them, not sure if I'm gonna need a donor, but in the off chance that I do, so basically, there's basically 3 outcomes from this egg retrieval. Outcome number 1, outcome that I'm hoping for, is we have really great response to this retrieval, to these meds. I produce a plethora of eggs, many of them mature, many of them fertilize safely, turn into 7-day blasts, 5-day blasts, come back genetically normal, and we are good to go. And if I get like 2 genetically normal per cycle, oh my God, I'll be so happy to have 4 M babies on ice, okay? Because then I know I can probably get at least 2 actual babies out of that. So anywho, that is goals. The second scenario is gonna be one where it's kind of middle of the road, where maybe we get like none, which I'm gonna be devastated, which happens on first cycles. I see it all the time. I'm prepared for it, but I'm not, but I am. The second cycle, maybe I get 1 or 2, which will leave me somewhere in limbo where I have to really think about, do I want to spend more money on egg retrievals, or do I want to spend more money on donor eggs and just get pregnant? That's going to be a hard one. The other thing is that we do 2 cycles and we get none, and then I have to decide whether or not I want to try to coerce my body with medications and go further, or whether or not I want to do donor eggs. I hope this makes sense. These are all things that run through my head. My husband kind of gave me the go-ahead on that, to think about it. IVF is not cheap, y'all. That's where my head is, because I'm a pre-planner. So I had a meeting with the donor egg team at CNY. I went onto the donor portal. If you can't find it, you might have to ask. You might have to add it into your thing. I looked through the different options and there was one really good option. I loved her. She has eyes like mine. They're green and they kind of are almondy like mine, you know? And she has the cutest nose like mine. Like she has like a pug nose. Her mouth is different, but she has a cute nose. She doesn't look anything like me. Her hair is a little bit darker than my natural. See my roots? Her hair is more brown, but she's great. She's like 5'5". She's like middle, I mean, she's kind of skinny. She's still young. She's like 22. She's a daredevil. She likes motorsports, okay? She's on a 4-wheeler, you know? And she works at Starbucks, so she likes coffee. So hello, I already feel kindred to her. She was my first bat. She was a definite, and when I first, everything changes every day. She's been matched with 2 people. They've paid for her eggs already, so I will have to be, I'm 5 on her waiting list, so I can be next. And you have to put down money for the use of her eggs, which I think is like 6 eggs, $9,000. You have to put down like $2,500 to save in line, but I won't be this time in line, so they'll have to. I'm 5th in line, so we'll wait. There were a few other ones, but there was none that were really standouts. She was the definite standout for me. There was this other one who kind of looked like my mother, and she had a similar complexion and like coloring. When I say coloring, I mean her eye color, her hair color was very similar, so she's an option. She's definitely an option, but she wasn't my first choice. My first choice was that one. And then there's this one girl on there, she just looks like Topanga. She's so cute. She's pretty, like brown hair but dyes it blonde, light hazel green eyes, dimples though, mad dimples. If my kids come out with huge dimples, you know I use that egg donor. But anyways, it's an option. It's still up there. I'm still very hopeful because I'm still not 42. I'm just barely, I'll be 41 in 2 days. We have a really good chance of getting some eggs here. So the other thing is like, if you go for a duo stem is probably going to run us like 6,000 or so, 6,500. Do you pay 9,000 and do donor eggs after that, or do you pay another 6,000 first and then try and then do donor eggs? You know what I mean? $9,000 is a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not like $100,000. $9,000 is doable. I mean, this car costs way more than that. So I will sell this shit and drive a hoopty if I had to. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to get your baby if you want it. You know, you'll make it happen if you want it. That's how I feel about it. So we talked about donor eggs pretty good. We'll probably talk about this again, but that's where I am. I'm all over the place in my head when it comes to like, because I'm a planner, I'm a controller, I have to know what I'm doing. You know, that's just kind of, IVF is so out of your control and you have no idea what the outcomes are going to be. All you can deal with is what your input is. And so I'm trying to plan and do what I can. I don't know if I can drink this coffee. It's so strong, you guys. I might not be able to do coffee anymore because I didn't do coffee because I was COVID and quarantined for so long. And I have had like a glass of coffee at the house, but I might just have to stick with that because this Americano is sharp. It's sharp. It's robust, and I'm not used to it anymore. Let me try one more sip. I put heavy in here and stevia. Oh, it is so robust. Anyways, not used to it. It's not bad tasting. It's pretty good. I'll drink a little of it. Get a little caffeine in my system, but I'm probably not going to be able to handle the whole thing, and because I don't want the jitters. My medications make me jittery enough. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the gym. Okay. I am inherently a rule breaker, I guess, because initially when I was told you cannot go to the gym when you're doing IVF, I thought about it and I was like, sure I can. I just can't do the gym while I'm pregnant. I completely understand the risk of going to the gym while you're pregnant, especially at 40. People who work a lot over 40 who are pregnant, they get a lot of, from what I've seen, a lot of activity can cause some bleeding. It can cause like a, I don't know how to word it, but it causes like hematoma. I don't know if they're called hematomas or what they're called. I don't remember the word, but it causes little bleeds, and those can be scary. I don't want to bleed during pregnancy. I will be very nervous, and I will be very scared, and I will have a lot of anxiety. So my plan is walk, and so I felt like, because I've been working out pretty rigorously, very regularly with a trainer since last June, I figured I need it for my mental health, and I don't want to mess up my schedule with working out, and I want to keep working out. So I planned on continuing working out throughout my stimming, through my IVF, and then once I was pregnant, I'd be done. That was the plan. The thing is that I hadn't done my research and realized that there are really risks. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your health history, but when you're being stimulated in your ovaries to grow more eggs, your ovaries are, so your uterus is really not big, you guys. It's like a little tiny triangle, right? It's very small. It's about this big. I'm driving, so. And your ovaries are on each side. When you're taking injectables to stimulate your ovaries are growing way bigger than they normally would be very quickly. This can lead to ovarian torsion, which is where your ovaries can tilt your uterus. It can pull your uterus. If one ovary grows bigger than the other one, And your uterus and your ovaries can they can turn. And that's what you don't want to happen. Some women experience ovarian torsion, and they literally, due to IVF, it's a risk. You can lose your ovaries. So once I understood this very important detail, I realized, like, yeah, no, I cannot just keep working out when I'm starting stims. I'm starting stims next month in May 5th or 7th. The only thing, now listen, when you're going through this, there are so many appointments, and so everything hinges on one date. I already had to move my hysteroscopy. Okay, so I already had to reschedule that. It's not rescheduled. I'm pretty sure she left me a voicemail. I'm gonna call her back. Her name is Sarah. I'm doing my hysteroscopy through my OBGYN, not through my fertility clinic, because my insurance will cover it. I originally had it planned for end of April. My fertility clinic, once they looked into my flow chart and like how my potential dates look like, they said, no, you don't want to interfere with your taking out your eggs. Do the hysteroscopy after retrievals. So we're changing it around until I will get my hysteroscopy and my HSG, which is where they go into your fallopian tubes, make sure they're not blocked. That is all going to take place end of June, which is crazy because it's a lot. We're doing a lot of stuff right now. So drop off this package very quickly. I will be very quick in and out. What am I talking about? So, gym. We are planning, if everything goes right, to start stimming May 5th or 7th. So, I can't do the gym after May 5th or 7th. Right now, it's April 14th. So, we're looking at like 2 weeks. Do you ever walk by somebody and you can smell the Bath & Body Works on them and it irritates you because you recognize the smell but you can't name it? We are so close. We are not very far away. I'm guessing 14 to 30. Okay, so we're like 3 weeks away from starting stims. It's getting really close. I'm really excited for it, but I'm nervous of it because I know that it's going to be super emotionally hard for me. And I'm gonna have to have a talk with my husband about, we're gonna have to plan everything out so he knows the whole plan, so that I don't have to go through any like decision making and stuff during that. He's gonna have to, it's gonna be hard. He's really good at giving injections. He's so supportive and he so wants this, and it's so sweet. I know he told my doctor, he's like, I already have a kid, so I've already been through this, so I'm good. Like, I'm just here, I'm the stud horse, like, but I know he wants it. He's being super supportive, and he's so sweet, and he's really good at keeping up with my injection, and he remembers it before I do, and he's really, really awesome. He never complains ever about going to work 14 hours a day. This man works his ass off. When I had COVID, I couldn't go to the gym, and after COVID, we started my Omnitrope injection, and I've started taking about 7 prescription pills per day. If you want to see what I'm taking for my priming, you can see my other video where I do my meds, like what I take in a day. These pills are, as long as I'm just real chill, like they nauseate me and make me pretty dizzy for about an hour, and I just chill, take it easy. Like today I feel pretty good. It might just be a little bit of getting used to it, but when I went to the gym, I felt like I was gonna pass out. Like I was supremely dizzy, very, very dizzy and uncomfortable, and like I just felt sick, and I couldn't enjoy my workout. It was just so exhausting, and I felt like I was pushing my body too hard, because like the first round, there's like 3 rounds. The first round was great. It felt good to be back, and that was what my body could handle. The middle one got harder, and the last one, I was struggling to stay upright, and I didn't really express that so much, but it was really hard, like just to not feel like I was gonna die of dizziness. So that was a whole thing. So the thing is that they tell you we're gonna go low and slow. Stop heating up your body, stop working out. I think I need to stop working out. I think I need to start walking and doing those things, and I think that's what I need to do. But this is a struggle against myself, 100%. What I eat, what I put in my body, what I consume, and what I do. Hold on, my husband.